Hello, welcome back. First, we're going to start with preventative measures, okay? Make sure I got all my supplies. So, preventative measures. Everybody knows, wash your hands all the time. This is a good time of year to fist bump instead of handshake, right? Okay? Wash your hands frequently. Make sure your hands are washed before you touch food. Anytime you go outside, you pet an animal. If you're at a large gathering, okay, wash. That's like the biggest thing that you can do. That is the single most helpful thing you can do. Sometimes you're not in a position to wash your hands, right? Like, say you're at a party and someone just sneezed on you. Or whatever. I know sometimes I'm not in a position to wash my hands. For example, I was at the grocery store today and ran into an old friend and she gave me hugs and it was wonderful, but I was like, I don't know if you have anything and I don't want to get sick. My birthday's coming up. So we're going to make hand sanitizer, okay? We're going to use lemon and melaleuca, which have antiviral, antibacterial properties to them. They're purifying, they're cleansing. Good to go. You can look that up in Modern Essentials, or you can look that up in Essential Life. I showed you those books in my mental wellness class, and I can post links to where you can purchase those books if you'd like that information too, okay? There's also the app. There's a Modern Essentials app. It was like, I want to say $4.99, and that's great because I don't have to lug the book around with me everywhere. I have it right on my phone, so if I'm out and about, I can just, find what I need. So, for the hand sanitizer, you're going to start with a bottle. It just occurred to me that I did not bring my witch hazel over here, so you're going to pretend I put witch hazel in here. Okay? So, first things first, you're going to put 15 drops of lemon in, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There we go. Okay, 15 drops of lemon. And then you're going to put 5 drops of melaleuca. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty. And now, since the witch hazel can be drying to your skin, obviously, we are going to add some vitamin E and some aloe to help moisturize and soothe that skin. That's one of the things I like about this because regular hand sanitizer dries my skin out so bad. So you're going to add 2 milliliters of vitamin E oil. So I've got it in a nice convenient little dropper. If you don't, that's okay. So now we have in here the oil, all the oil, the vitamin E oil, the lemon oil, and the melaleuca oil. Now, at this point, you would also add in 1.5 teaspoons of witch hazel, okay, alcohol-free witch hazel. I forgot to come set that up on the table, so I'm not putting that in right now, but that's what you would do next. And then finally, we stick our little funnel in here, and we top it off with aloe vera juice. Aloe vera juice. Now, obviously, I'm not going to fill it up all the way because I still have to add my witch hazel, but you would top it off. There we go. Shake that out. Give it a good shake. And there you go. Hand sanitizer. Put it in your purse. That's what I really like about this. It's so convenient. By the way, this is a 2-ounce bottle. If you want to use a 4-ounce bottle, double the recipe, obviously, but this works for a 2-ounce bottle. And then you just spray it on, rub it in. Or another way you can do it as just a disinfectant spray that you don't want to spray on your body is same measurements, but instead of the vitamin E oil and the aloe and the vitamin E oil and the aloe, you would use the lemon, the melaleuca, and the witch hazel, and then top it off with distilled water. Easy, right? So that is way number 1 to prevent yourself from getting sick, okay? Way number 2 is clean, okay? It's really not rocket science, I hope. You need to keep your house clean. I mean, if you're like me, your house is super cluttered, but it's still clean. I disinfect everything all the time, except for maybe my kitchen. My kitchen's a wreck. So, I'm going to show you how to make disinfectant wipes, because Lysol and Clorox wipes are full of all kinds of crazy chemicals that scare the living daylights out of me. There's some like, oh, I can't remember the number off the top of my head. There are like hundreds of thousands of chemicals that are out on the market in your daily household products, and after doing some digging, a very small percentage of those have actually been tested for safety on humans. So yeah, that weirds me out a little bit. Just last winter, I had because I had a sick baby, right? So I had 5 giant cans of Lysol disinfectant spray, and I had one of those big rolls of disinfectant wipes in every room, so that I could, no matter what, everything was clean. And then I had like these giant refill bottles of hand sanitizer with a pump at every single sink in my house. Not this year. No, not doing that. So, first thing, now, I'm not measuring this because I've made this a bunch of times, so I can just eyeball it. I know what it looks like in this container. You should probably measure, though. You're going to take, depending on the size of your container. Mine, I do about a cup, but it's really 1 part vinegar to 3 parts water, okay? Start with the vinegar. So you got 1 part vinegar, and then you are going to take distilled water, and it's 3 parts distilled water. Keyword being distilled, okay? This is something that you're going to be cleaning with and disinfecting with, so you don't want to use tap water where there could be junk in the tap water, okay? You don't want any kind of distilled water, okay? So, there we go. Now, you're going to add 20 drops of On Guard. And 20 drops of lemon. Now, I just emptied my lemon, so I'm obviously not going to put 20 drops of lemon in just this moment. I got another bottle over there. I'll put that in. And that's it. That's it. Lemon, like we talked about, very disinfecting. I'm going to share a study with you on On Guard in a minute. On Guard is fantastic for icky, germy stuff. I'm going to share with you a study about On Guard and influenza. So, then you take a couple washcloths, you stick them in there, and that's it. When you're ready to use it, you pull it out, you wring it out really good, and you wipe. Disinfectant wipe. And then you rinse it out in the sink, and you plop it right back in there to soak up more of that goodness. And about once a week, I completely dump it out and wash the rags. You rinse them every time you use them, and then about once a week, you dump and remake. Great, cool, huh? So, keeping yourself clean, you're keeping your house clean. The final thing that you could do to help yourself out is internally take care of yourself, okay? So, the study I mentioned was done in 2010, and it was on Guard Protective Blend. Like, not just any essential oil, specifically doTERRA's On Guard Protective Blend. They found in the study that use of the essential oil attenuates the infectivity of the influenza virus. Now, for all of you that don't understand what that meant, like I didn't, I Googled it for you. That means that using the On Guard with the virus in a 1 to 4,000 dilution reduced how infective the virus was by 40%. No, that was 1 to 6,000. And then in the 1 to 4,000 dilution, it reduced the infectivity of the virus by 90%. And then the study went further to figure out what level of oil was actually toxic to the virus, and it was like 2 to 6 times greater than what they had already done. So it wasn't, I mean, because you could take a bottle of tequila and pour it on some a flu virus, and eventually it's gonna die. That's not a hospitable environment. That doesn't mean that you should drink margaritas while you have the flu, right? So this is not how this happened. They did not dump so much On Guard on it that it killed the virus off. That's not what happened. It's the On Guard itself actually helped the virus from spreading, okay? Which I think is super cool, dude. So what I do, where'd it go? Here it is. So these are On Guard beadlets. You can see that. These nifty little dudes, you just pop one in your mouth and pop it, or it's kind of spicy, so like my kids just swallow it whole. And that's On Guard internally, right there. There's also the On Guard throat drops. These are cough drops with On Guard in them. Also a little spicy, but if you need the help, they're awesome. And finally, I brush my teeth with On Guard toothpaste every day. So I get my daily dose of On Guard. What we do is we use the toothpaste every day, and then if we go somewhere where we know it's likely we could be infected with something, then we take the beadlets. Or if we come back from somewhere that we're like, oh no, somebody was sick, we take the beadlets. For example, when we went to Disneyland recently, we each took an On Guard beadlet every morning before we went out into the park. And then once we start feeling that little tickle in our throat or start feeling a little feverish, that's when we use the throat drops. So, very nifty. They're very helpful for me. I really like them. And there you go. That's really all I have about prevention. So I will put a couple graphics up for you, and then we're going to talk about what to do once you are sick. Okay?